welcome to another episode of Old Boys, New Balls, Beefy and Bill. And what a great guest that we've got today.
I loved our era, without doubt. And Merv came out of the dressing room, said, well played. He said, yeah, but we've met before. He said, a shopping mall in Melbourne. I came up to you and said, good day, Mr. Botham. I want to be a fast bowler. And you told me to go and play tennis or golf. What do you reckon now? I said I was bloody right. With money comes more scrutiny. People talk about the money that these current blokes earn, and it's in all sports. And to be honest, I don't think it's enough. Every player has a purple patch in his career. The thing about Shane Warne, his purple patch went for about 15 years. The problem over here is there's 93% chance of you getting killed by a snake, a crocodile, a shark, or whatever in Australia. Especially if you dive in the water in the Boyle River on a fishing trip. So if you're not winning on home soil...
That's only because it rained for 3 days in Manchester.
Yeah, that's a little dig, isn't it? Did the All-Australians at Manchester 2 years ago do a rain dance? Bloody oath we did. And it worked well. World Series, stick it up your clack.
One of the great Australian cricketers all time, Merv Hughes. Welcome, Merv. Delighted to have you on the podcast.
Oh, great to be on the podcast. I've been waiting for this for like last 10 years. Beefy just hasn't asked me before.
But your two lives actually quite interesting. How you saved him on the Moyle River 12 months ago when he from drowning, or a crocodile was going to get him, and then
crocodiles, sharks, we had everything.
I think they probably would have had one sniff at him and moved to somewhere else, I can imagine.
And that was an interesting one because a lot of people don't understand. Up in Darwin, they've got 9 metre tides and the water flows pretty quickly. So if you lose contact with the back of the boat, mate, you're 20, 30 metres away from the boat. And in that area, you just don't want to be in the water. So luckily, someone was there to grab his arm and keep him close to the boat.
Well, that's what mates are for. Anyway, well done on that one. Well done.
Well, he took all the credit, but I actually found out that he was actually on his second beer watching while the guys were getting me out.
Oh, well, it came over very well that Merv, you were the man that saved him. Nobody else got to mention.
No, there was a bit of a vicious rumour going around, and in fact, I was the one that pushed him in.
So you guys go back a long way, don't you? Sort of. Was it 86, 87, you first sort of locked horns in an Ashes series?
Well, no, actually, we locked horns a bit earlier than that, Bill, because when I was over on a first tour in 77, 78 round there, when we went back-to-back 2 series in a row down here when Kerry Packer was, they were worried about all the players defecting. Well, we had to go, one of the things we had to do, because JVC were the company that were sponsoring the England team, and we had to go on a Sunday morning. Would you believe the game was Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Both teams bonded Saturday night until Sunday morning, and then you sleep it off. Well, we had to get up and go to this shopping mall at 10 in the morning. Well, most of us weren't feeling too good, and we got onto the bus, up to the shopping mall, and I'm stood there, and there's a little alcove to the side where I nipped in, so I thought I'd get away from all this noise. And this young lad came running round, and he came up and pulled my shirt like this and said, "G'day, Mr. Botham, mate, I want to be a fast bowler. Do you have any advice for me?" To which I replied, I wasn't feeling great, I was feeling a bit dusty, so I just said to him, "Look, mate, play tennis or golf," and off I wandered. So fast forward now to 86, and we're out there and we're batting, and in Brisbane at that time of the year, you've got this black line appeared, and then within 30 minutes, you had golf ball hailstones coming down.
Yeah.
So I think AB threw the new ball to Merv, and he came sprinting in and went for a few, 22. But
that's what I read, Beefy. I thought I did a better find out about Merv, and it came up that he never got you out in an Ashes series.
Oh, I reckon I did.
But hang on, Bill. The best part of the story was we're on the pavilion steps, right? And I'm there, and you're not going to play anymore. The ground's gone white with the hailstones. Sat there having a beer. Merv came out of the dressing room, said, well played. I said, thanks. I said, congratulations on your first Ashes test. He said, yeah, but we've met before. I said, where? He said, a shopping mall in Melbourne. I came up to you and said, "Good day, Mr. Botham. I want to be a fast bowler." And you told me to go and play tennis or golf. What do you reckon now? I said I was bloody right.
You should have been. He said, "Oh, mate."
So Merv, obviously you sort of get on with the opposition. A bit like, I think rugby and cricket are quite similar, that you sort of respect each other. And at the end of the game, the end of the day, you'll have a few beers. Is that still the same nowadays, modern professional cricketers?
Yeah, I think I don't think it happens too much now because of the recovery sessions the boys do. So they go out and they bowl all day, and then they go back to the hotel and do their recovery session. So it's a bit of an art of the game that's lost. That they don't really mingle too much afterwards, do they? So yeah, that's a little bit sad. But having said that, most players know each other with the franchise cricket that goes on around the world. So the 2020 games, the IPL's been massive. So all the players sort of know each other. There's no really mystery about players now because the young Indian guys play against the Australians, the South Africans, and they get to know these blokes. So when they go out and play them in a test match, they know that they're good blokes. They're not intimidated by them at all.
When you look at, obviously, I presume there's more money in the game if you become part of get an Indian franchise contract, things like that. Do you guys think, well, actually, I wish we were playing nowadays?
No, but I loved our era without doubt. And the big thing now is with money comes more scrutiny, and people talk about the money that these current blokes earn, and it's in all sports. And to be honest, I don't think it's enough because when we play, we're scrutinised by what we did on the ground by the media. Now, all these players are scrutinised through their whole lives. Everyone wants to know where they live, who their partners are, how many kids they've got, and social media is very intrusive. So, I've got my hand up. I don't reckon that the current players get paid anywhere near enough.
But back in the day, we didn't have to put up with these, did we?
No, that's the big thing, and it's so intrusive. Wherever you go, the old days, could you sign this or sign that? Now it's selfies, and you don't know what's going on behind you. It's crazy. So you try and get everyone in the line and do it, properly. But it is. I do actually believe it's an intrusion on. I think when you're at the ground and when you go into the car park and you can do that kind of thing, but you shouldn't be getting it when you go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
Or to go, etc. And they always wait. The people in the restaurant, they look at you, and then just as you're about to cut into that juicy steak, they come on and go.
Yeah, no, but it happens, doesn't it? You'll sit there, you'll sit in the restaurant, I reckon, for 45 minutes to an hour, and there'll be another. As soon as a plate comes in and put in front of you, you pick up your knife and fork. Well, can you sign this? Well, hang on a second. Can I have my meal first, and then I'll sign it? And they, well, we're on our way now. I said, well, where have you been for the last hour? We've been sitting here we've been eating our meal. So you don't want to interrupt your meal, but you want to interrupt my meal. Give us a break. But most people are good, and it's just a minority, I think, that stuff it up for the majority, which is normal these days.
And it's usually at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you've been sat in the outer watching the cricket and it's 30 degrees and you throwing a few down your neck, well, they get big and brave then, and that's the problem time.
So obviously, English-Australian rivalries were over the weekend as well over here with the you guys winning the rugby league and we winning the rugby match. Sort of, how much publicity did that get in? Are you in Perth at the moment, Beef?
No, Melbourne.
No, Melbourne.
It got a fair run, didn't it?
Yeah.
I think obviously the Australian stations over here went more with the rugby league than the rugby. But our rugby team's going through a bit of a tough spot. And being from Victoria, we talk football, it's Aussie rules football. So when you talk rugby league, rugby union, that's all foreign to us. But you still follow how the teams go. The Australians, the rugby team are doing it a little bit tough, and your boys had a good win. But conversely, the rugby league boys, 2-0 up.
Yeah, but if you look at the Australian rugby union side, the amount of ground they've made up in the last year. And they've actually come to the front. So they will be. I hate to say this in front of Merv, but with that Australian attitude, that will to win, determination, it comes through, and they've got a very good coach, and he's done a lot for them. So, but Union is very much the smaller of the rugby games in this country. Queensland and New South Wales and a little bit in WA, but the rest of the country is all Aussie rules, which is great. I love it.
The rules season, if that finished now, have you had all the grand finals over there now?
Yeah. So Brisbane won everything this year.
Yeah.
So Brisbane Broncos won the rugby league. Brisbane Lions won the AFL. So all the trophies are up north. We don't see any shiny stuff down in Victoria.
Not for a while.
Not till we polish the Ashes up.
So you guys, how excited are the Aussie public about the Ashes series?
It's massive. Just the hype of the Ashes series. Anyone who follows cricket, this is a be all and end all from Australia and I think England's point of view. And the only thing that would really rival that in cricket would be India Pakistan, and it's just a shame. Just an absolute shame that they can't play home and away series because of all the conflict over there. But mate, the Ashes, I'm loving it. So the lead up to the Ashes, all the English guys are coming up, and it's just great. They're talking up a storm, and it's going really well, Beef, isn't it? So do you reckon 3-1 Australia or 4-1?
Sorry, it's interference there. I got interference. I really do think it's going to be tight. And Merv and I were talking about it a little bit earlier on, but I think it's like so many ifs in this series. If Pat Cummins comes through, he's a big, their cog. He's a good captain. The boys respect him and follow him, and he's also got stamina, and bowls longer periods. We don't know. We're hearing all kinds of everything from you. Oh, we're just going to miss one game, and we're hearing you could miss the whole series. So we'll just have to play that one as it goes. But England equally, Ben Stokes has had 2 operations on a hamstring, which one's not good, 2's not great. And will our 2 quickest bowlers, Wood and Archer, can they last more than 1 or 2 tests? And that is going to be the real acid test, because if they don't, then the whole balance of the game could shift very quickly. Mitchell Stark is the boat you don't want to get injured at the moment.
Well, that's right. And like you say, because Archer and Wood haven't played a lot of cricket, they haven't got hardened bodies. And what a lot of people don't understand from England to Australia is that the England wickets are a little bit giving, where the Australian wickets are like cement slabs, and it's tougher on your body. And if you're not match hardened, which Wood and Archer aren't, they're running in, they're putting a lot of pressure on those bodies. And because the series is so compact, you can't really see him playing the 5 tests, can you?
No, I can't see the bowlers doing.
I think so. Bev, did you had great success actually in England though, didn't you?
We went all right. So 2 series there, 4-1, 4-0. I wouldn't call that great success, but I would call it astounding success. So I was very lucky to go in 89 and 80, 86, 87 when England were over here. We were just recovering from our rebel tour to South Africa. And when we got over to England in 89, that was your rebel tour to South Africa. So in 6 test matches, I still don't think people understand that in 6 test matches, Australia played 12 players and England played 27.
Yeah.
So there was it was a revolving door. And we'd had that 2 years before in 85 when I first started. And when there's a revolving door and there's a lot of changes in selection, the players just don't feel confident. And they're always looking over their shoulder, and they're more worried about their performance and the team's performance. So it makes it very hard to gel as a team. And certainly we got the better of England on that occasion.
I don't think people actually, they don't realise, unless you're involved in sport, how important having confidence is. That you know that, all right, you might make a mistake, but you know you're gonna get the new ball next week, sort of thing. Everybody has. But I used to find that when the revolving door, when I first started playing for England rugby-wise, you're frightened of making a mistake, because if you made a mistake, you then got dropped. So nobody really wanted to take responsibility. So they thought, well, ship the ball onto somebody else. He might make a mistake, and it's nothing to do with me then.
Well, the great thing is, as you know, that Merv and myself lack a lot of confidence, and but it is its confidence. It really is, and that was the beauty of when we won in 86 over in Australia, over here, it was 86-7, was because we actually had a great mixture of youth and experience. And I think I mentioned this before, Bill, to you, but the older senior players would room with a junior player in the build, which was 3 or 4 weeks. And in that build-up, you build a lot of bridges, really, for confidence and how they're going to play. They pick your brains. It was just a tremendous tour. And, I've been lucky enough to play 7 Ashes tours and been on the winning side 5 times. Yeah. So that's how many times have you been on?
You must be really old. Because so what was I? 5 Ashes and 4 winners.
There you go.
So it was we got beaten 86, 87, obviously, and then from there I might be only the 4 with 3 wins, to be honest. So 93.
You got 31 wickets in the 93 series.
Yes,
is that right? Over here.
Yeah, and Shane Warne was fantastic at the other end, and like I've always said, a leg spin bowler is only as good as a fast bowler at the other end. So he was
the ball of the century. So your 31 wickets had nothing to. Nobody remembered that, but they all remember Mike Gatting getting bowled at Old Trafford, don't they, by Shane Warne?
Oh mate, that was an amazing ball, wasn't it? And from an Australian perspective, to watch how confused and dazed that Mike Gatting was after he was bowled, and Mike was seen as probably one of the best players of spin bowling at that time, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He played spin very well.
And then Warnie throws this ball up and just beat him all ends up. And the way he walked off the ground, we'll sort of sitting there talking about that night. Would have loved to have been a fly on the wall on the in the English rooms at that stage, just to see the terror that sort of went through that camp.
Obviously, you're from Melbourne as well, and so like he was. Yep. So did you realise how good he was? Same with you, Beef. When did you know that sort of this guy's going to be really reinvent leg spin bowling, wasn't it?
Yeah, so he was at the Cricket Academy. So the Cricket Academy in those days was in Adelaide. It was before it moved up to Brisbane, and he came back and we heard about this young leg spin bowler that was coming to training. We just think, well, leg spin bowlers, it's a pretty tough art. I remember standing behind his net watching him bowl. There was Dean Jones, Tony Donamaid, myself, and Simon O'Donnell just standing. He's got to bowl a bad ball soon. He's got to bowl a bad ball soon. He never bowled a bad ball. So his control for a leg spinner. So you think of most leg spinners around the world, they'll throw up a full toss, they'll throw in a half tracker, they bowl bad balls occasionally, but Warnie never bowled a bad ball. And you sort of just sat there, and he talking about someone that lacked a little bit of confidence. He did lack a little bit of mate. He was just so sure of himself from a young age. To see what he did when he got into the Victorian side, and then I would have thought as a young bloke, he's going to play maybe 50, 60 tests. He's going to take a couple of 100 wickets, but you couldn't imagine he would have done what he did in Test cricket. One of the best ever, if not the best ever.
The other thing as well, people forget that in his first test against India, Ravi Shastri got 200, I think, and belted him all around the ground. And everyone thought, it's still a bit of...
One for 174 he got.
Yeah.
I used to like talking Test cricket. Debut Test matches, because I only went for 123. So I used to bring that up quite a lot with him. But yeah, so he played India in Sydney, and back then it was very much spin-friendly conditions, and the Indians were very good at spin bowling. So Ravi Shastri got his 200. I reckon a young bloke by the name of Sachin Tendulkar got 100, and they just whacked us all over the park. And Warnie just hung in there, and he just, even at the end of that, he still had confidence. And then they went to a tour to Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka looked like winning the game. They were only about maybe 60, 70 runs behind with 8 wickets in hand. And Alan Border was looking around. I remember Alan Border saying that, I can't give it to him. He's a spin bowler. I've got to bowl him. And Warnie took 6 for 36 and won the game. And then from there, every player has a purple patch in his career. The thing about Shane Warne, his purple patch went for about 15 years. It was just amazing to watch.
So, Beefy, how would you face him then? Would you be looking for not being technical, is it always going a googly or is it a flipper or whatever they call them?
Well, yeah.
I'd just be on the front foot trying to mow him over mid-wicket. That's all. That's the only shot he had.
Cow corner.
Yeah, actually, amazingly, it's the one thing out of my entire career that I would have loved to have done. That was played against Warne in a test. It never happened. Our paths were about a month apart, me leaving and him coming to his own.
In your time, though, the leg spinners that played, how did you go against them?
Well, weren't really Abdul Qadir. He was
more wrong-uns than anything else. When he just bowled a heap of wrong-uns.
But he was probably as good a leg spinner as there was at that time.
Cumberland?
Cumberland, but
he was more
out of here,
a little bit quicker, wasn't he?
Yeah. So leg spinners are a rare commodity, and when you get a good one, they can win matches all the time. They're always in the game.
Not wishing to be too technical. Do you need a harder wicket to be a really good leg spinner than as opposed to playing over here? Because I think he pro'd at Accrington, didn't he? And they couldn't care in the Lancashire League whether it was a googly or whatever. They just smacked him out of the ground, didn't they?
Yeah, well, but that can happen. But the thing is, the beauty of a leg spinner is he comes into the game all the way through. At the start, you don't know quite if it's going to grip, and he always said if the ball seams, it'll turn.
Yeah.
Well, he always said that, and he was usually right. But he could also then, as the game progressed, you can use the rough, and he bowled a lot of people out of that rough. I remember that one delivery, Andrew Strauss for his 700th wicket. I mean, that was quite remarkable. That turned about 6 feet.
And even the one, Kevin Peterson in that amazing Adelaide Test match, bowled him around his legs. So out in the rough and went around. But the thing about Warne, like leg spinners either have great control or they spin the ball a long way. And Warne had both. And he had variety. So he had his flipper, he bowled his wrong end. So he had all that. But the big thing that Shane had on his side was his control.
But one of the umpires, I remember talking to them during after the game, and I just bumped into them for a beer. A couple of the umpires I knew quite well, and I said, "How's Warne going out there?" He said, "He's telling me what he's going to bowl every ball." He said, "Because I don't want to mistake it and not realise it's a wrong un when he thinks it's going the other way." So he'd see wrong un going now, then bowl it. So, but he was a freak when it comes to bowling.
And a big thing about him too, as good a cricketer as he was 10 times a better bloke.
Well,
People never understood that.
No.
He got harassment from Women's Weekly to every publication. And to be honest with you, he handled it really well. And the other thing that he did, and Merv can back me up on this, he would, when he got back to Brighton after, say, a tour or after a test match, and he's got a few days off, he would ring up the local school or one of the local schools, and he'd go up there and spend a couple of hours with their cricketers. But what he didn't want was any publicity.
No publicity. No.
So the whole trip had to be kept secret, and he'd go up and he'd do it. He didn't care what the boys said afterwards, but he didn't want the press there when he was actually doing what he was doing.
Great man then to do that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Ian McIntosh. I'm the host of the football podcast Route 1. What's Route 1? Why, it's football. Fast. No faff. It's never more than 15 minutes long, and it is not at home to Dr. Wibble. We cover a lot of ground, and we cover it quickly with experts. We're not interested in Roy Keane's latest rant or who's bantered who off on social media. We are only interested in the football. We'll give you the biggest stories from the biggest leagues, and sometimes we'll do France as well. Route 1. Give it a try wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, guys, the other big news that there have been in cricket is the India winning the Women's World Cup. What do you think that's going to do for the game?
Well, setting the stone, isn't it? Australia lost in that one.
How did England go? Did they win that?
No, it was silly.
But the big thing was, you would have thought, I think most people would have thought that it was going to be an England-Australian final.
Yeah.
And both England and Australia got beaten in the semi-finals. England by South Africa, Australia by India, and then India played really well in that final. So, yeah, it was an interesting one. There's no doubt about that. And India, and again, when you tour and when you play your rugby at away grounds, it's very hard to win. So India, while they're probably seen as number 3, number 4 in the world for women's cricket, when they're playing on home soil, that just lifts them a little bit, and they play bloody well to win that.
Yeah, look, the women's game, I think everyone, as you said, would be England, Australia. Yes. But you know what I think? The thing that I think about the ladies' game now is that India have got the confidence now. They've got the population, and they've got the support.
Got the money for it as well, haven't they? I think
exactly the wealthiest cricket board in world cricket, and they will be looked after. And I can see them staying at the top for a very long time.
Yeah, they haven't been far away. Have they? No. They're always seen as, and the big thing about with the women's game and the men's game. Yes, it's how you perform in your home country, but it's also how you perform away from home. So that's going to be the next real test for the Indian women's team.
Yeah, it is. But I think they're going to come through.
Yeah,
I really do. I honestly do. And I think, you talk about how fanatical they are, the Indian supporters. When we did the Boxing Day Test match last year, there was just under 400,000 went through the turnstiles, and on the last day, there was 74,000 went into the game. So, but people are saying that and it wouldn't surprise me if the amount of people that are coming over from England for this Ashes series, they think England have got a real chance. They have got a real chance if they can stay fit and hold it all together.
Merv shaking his head ruefully there.
Well, I wouldn't expect anything else, Bill. But no, I think it's going to be a fantastic series. And the support that's coming through. People are ringing up. Can you get me some tickets? Mate, it's cheaper to buy the crown jewels than it is to get the ticket. So,
well, when the rugby team was over here, was that only 4 months ago, 5 months ago? The contingent that they had over there was 40,000 Brits over here following them around, and you think it's going to be pretty much the same with the cricket. So they're already you're seeing a lot of English people around, and you're seeing them talking about cricket, and even the expats that live out here. They're pumped up to the hill.
Yeah,
I always think there's a great sort of analogy in a way between the rugby supporters who go and follow the Lions they'll save up for 4 years, and this is the trip they go on, because unlike in a World Cup, the Lions, you're going to play 8, 7 matches in the series, 10 matches, and they're always going to win a World Cup. You might be out the quarterfinals, and away you might not see your own team play if you just go out. And so I just think it's probably the supporter is very similar, the cricket supporter and the Lion rugby supporter, who'll be sort of save up for a fair length of time to really a trip of a lifetime.
Everyone, there's a buzz. You always have a bit of a buzz when there's an Ashes series, but I haven't known it quite so early and so intense. And that's certainly the vibes over here.
Well, the big thing, start of the cricket season, end of the football season, everyone turns into the cricket. When you play India, when you play South Africa, the buzz is real. But when you play England, the buzz is just loud. Just with the history, tradition of the Ashes tournament, how both sides have been going, and there's a few flare-ups in England 2 years ago. So it's going to be interesting to see how all that's handled. But certainly it's going to be a really good tour, and Australia to win 3-1.
Yeah, that incident, though, I have to say, it fired up Australia, and without any doubt. And the way that they were abused going through the long room was totally out of order, because they actually haven't done anything wrong. So at the end of the day, that added a bit of fuel to the fire. And I think you're going to see it out here. I think it's going to be fantastic. I think there'll be a lot of banter. The hotels and the pubs are looking forward to it. And don't forget the Barmy Army, because those guys are remarkable. And they are now probably the biggest tour group to come to Australia.
They're massive, aren't they?
Enormous. Enormous numbers. But they always, they'll pick a pub somewhere in the area where the MCG is. And there's a few around there. God knows most of them. Yeah, but
one or two that you lads have frequented, no doubt, in the past.
Well, you've got to give back to the society and support them, and
got to throw money into the local communities, as we do as Australians over in England.
Of correct.
Yes.
The only difference is, though,
Yeah.
it's only 2.5 to 1 at the moment, isn't it? So, what was it? When did it get to 3? Was it that?
3
it was
to
an
1.
Ashes series, 3 to 1. But no, it'll be special. It'll be everywhere.
Massive.
Everybody will be talking about it.
Yeah. So, Beefy, you were pretty critical of the warm-up for the England team. Obviously, a couple of days ago, they lost to the Kiwis in the 50
3-0
over at Eden Park in the and one of your Durham lads scored the winning runs, didn't he, for the Kiwis?
We have got. I'm going to get on my high horse again because we were talking about it outside. The preparation for England, to me, it's not right because, and the more I talk to people here and talk to ex-players of Australian and what have you in English, they're all saying the same. You go to Perth, it's a different light. The ball carries quicker. It seems to come onto you quicker. And all these things, you're not going to achieve that playing this warm-up game or whatever. I know they're over here and they're netting in the training, but that's not playing. And my problem is, I am convinced that the reason our quick bowlers keep breaking down is the fact they don't bowl enough in competitive matches. And I'm fingers crossed that it all goes well. But
well, the big thing is that, as Beefy said, Perth is very unique. While we're not playing at the Wacker, we're playing at the new stadium there, and it's probably not as brutal as the Wacker, but for England to have a lead-up game and only playing the England A team, you'd think that they would play against West Australian second 11 team to see what length the bowlers bowl, because it's different conditions, different atmosphere, all that sort of stuff. So if you're playing England versus England in WA, the attitude is going to be a lot different to an Australian team, so a West Australian team. So even if it's a West Australian second 11 team, you get an idea of where the bowlers hit the ball and what they're trying to do. And as a bowler, you're running in bowling to batsmen and you see their footwork and you figure out what length to bowl. But when you're playing against England versus England in foreign conditions, my belief is you're not going to learn too much from it.
I agree entirely. But
if Australia come over to England, they don't seem to go around the counties like they used to in the old days.
Well, they don't because of schedules, but this is their excuse. But the point I'm making out is that I'm pretty sure that the Australian team would have a more intense warm-up than 3 weeks of playing against your mates. So I just think and they've also moved it, which has surprised me. Fortress Brisbane, the Gabba, is usually the first port of call, and they've deliberately moved that. So they've got it into Perth. So they must feel they want to get into them. Over there, it's a bit different. And then they go up to Brisbane to play a day-night game. So we've got red balls, white balls, and pink balls now. So, old balls, new balls.
So what would the Australian players be doing? Would they be playing Shield cricket now?
Yeah, a few of them are playing Shield cricket. As Beefy said before, Pat Cummins isn't playing. So we saw a big highlight about a week ago that said he was bat bowling, and he was bowling off about 2 steps in the nets. And you think, mate, it's good that he is back bowling, but when you hear someone of that caliber is bat bowling, you'd be thinking he's running. And that's what Ian said earlier, is that it's an unknown. So at the moment, he's ruled out for the first test, possibly the second test, but he may not play a test match throughout the series. So it's going to be an interesting one. Scotty Bolden will come in for him, but the English guys are saying that they've got no fears of Scotty Boland because of what he did in England 2 years ago. So obviously they forget what he did in Australia 4 years ago. So in his own conditions, the wickets are a little bit faster. He knows his lengths to bowl. He just nibbles away at off stump. There's something I never thought of when I played. Just bowl at the top of off stump. Is that relatively new in cricket? Or?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
maybe.
But that's all he does. He just nibbles it off stump and asks a lot of questions of the batsman. So, but it'll be interesting to see how they go. And if the English guys are going to discount Scotty Boland, do it at your own peril.
No, it's dangerous, very dangerous. But Hazelwood's bowling. He's bowling a lot of overs at the moment, which is good because he's had real problems with their injuries. I think I know Ethan sat over there will tell me if I'm wrong, but I think they've had about 35 test matches and he's played only 16 or something. Near enough. I'm getting the nod, so it's near enough. That's all.
Yeah, you're not, are you?
So he's
near enough.
Yeah.
Near enough. So I'm within a few tests there. But and Brisbane, the other thing about Perth, there's going to be the largest probably British communities there.
Yeah.
There's more English over there than I think there is Australian in WA. Yeah, so
there'll be an England home game.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to realise how far Perth is away from Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Brisbane.
Very similar to London, from London to Miami.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You go. I actually had to do a trip because my manager thought it'd be quite amusing. Anyway, he
your manager?
Yeah.
Who's your manager?
No, not yours.
Oh, that prick over there. He's laughing. He's laughing at you.
but no. So we fly in. I get in on the 27th, right, at midnight. I get at the hotel, couple of days off, and then he says, "Right, here's your tickets." So I'm flying back to Perth to get on another plane to go 2 hours up north on the iron ore region, Carafa, the place there, which I'd never heard of before, to be honest. You ever heard of it?
It's beautiful up there, isn't it?
Very
it's
good
nice,
fishing.
Nice and mild weather.
Yeah, good fishing. But so I get there, so that's 5 hours, 4.5 hours from Melbourne to Perth, then 2 hours up there, overnight, 2 hours back to Perth, and flight. So I've managed about 15 hours for flying in the last couple of days, on top of the one from England.
And the big thing about that, he's not whinging about it at all. Just taking it.
The one thing, Beefy, when you get on the plane, you turn left, don't you? You don't turn right. So it makes a bit of a difference.
Isn't that where the bags go?
No.
No, mate. Air miles, I've got plenty of those. Use them, put them to good use.
Merv, if you were hand on your heart, a few dollars in your pocket, where would you put it for this series?
Buckaroo, Melbourne Cup. No, I would be thinking. I've come out and said I can't see England winning a Test match over here. And the big thing about that is, like we said, it's very, very hard to win away from home. And when you're not beating teams at home, I think it makes it a little bit harder. So the series that you just had against India in England, it was a drawn series. 2 years ago, the Australian series over there was a drawn series. So if you're not winning on home soil...
That's only because it rained for 3 days in Manchester.
Oh
yeah, but hang on, Manchester's relatively dry in comparison to Sydney.
I think comparison to Melbourne. Yeah, that's a little dig, isn't it? So I'm sure that you've heard
Beefy
a
and
little.
I spent a long day at Manchester, that Test match, and then it rained for about 2 days. It saves you.
I'm sure you've heard. I don't know whether they talk about this in rugby, but certainly in cricketing terms, we talk about it. Control the controllables. Now the weather is out of your control. We can't control that. So. I did the All Australians at Manchester 2 years ago do a rain dance? Bloody oath we did. And it worked well. Wrong series, stick it up your clack.
Well, you're very good at it there, that's for sure. It worked as well.
Yeah, but no, it's going to be great. We're all looking forward to it.
It's going to be massive.
And you're almost at the stage now where you want it to just let's go. Yeah, and I'm sure that the players and certainly the supporters are all getting pretty excited.
Well, the big thing is England's already named their Test side. So they've named their side 3 weeks out for the Test. And Australia is still sort of looking at who's going to bat in our top 3. You would think that the rest of the team is very settled. But the big one is Cameron Green. Does he bat in that top 4 and Bo Webster play, or does he drop down to that number 6 and you play Labuschagne and Smith with the 2 openers? And then who's going to be the opening combination?
Well, he's almost as old as you, I think, Khawaja. Yeah, I think
he got plenty of runs, though, didn't he? Not as old as me, that's for sure. Anyway, guys, we've talked a little about, there's quite a bit of rugby going on over here as well. You've got the Kiwis who are on a Grand Slam tour that they have their first win over in Chicago against Ireland. They've got Scotland, they've got England and coming up and Wales. So that's going to be quite exciting here.
Well, I think I can assure you now that the Kiwis they get a lot of support over here. They love each other so much, the Aussies and the Kiwis. Brace each every opportunity.
Because in a way, you join at the hip in one way because you're close to each other, but you're the biggest, but you want to beat them more than anybody else and vice versa.
Yeah, exactly.
But Paul, on a serious note, what the New Zealanders do for the size of their population is amazing, isn't it?
4.5 million.
Mate, and how they go about their sport, their cricket, they seem to find a way in their cricket. The World Cups, they always seem to get into a semi-final when they're not regarded as a great team. And then you have a look at their rugby sides, their rugby league, their rugby union. You just think, gee. And then you have a look at their netball side. Their netball side's amazing.
Girls.
They are fair. Mate, they punch above their weight for their population.
They punch above their weight, definitely, for a small population, without a doubt.
And it's always nice going there as well because, the problem over here is there's 93% chance of you getting killed by a snake, a crocodile, a shark, or whatever in Australia.
Especially if you dive in the water in the Moyle River on a fishing trip.
Sure you weren't pushed in the Moyle River there, Beef.
No. I reckon I don't actually remember what happened. I know I tripped, and I can't remember much until I got on the back of the boat, and then Mudguts here was just sliding down his second beer. Boom. And I thought, mate.
Show some concern. Yeah, mate. You're all right. You got through it.
Yeah.
All I say to you guys, if you go fishing again, just be careful.
Yeah. We were discussing it earlier, but we've got some plans. But I'm trying to persuade Merv to come down to New Zealand, and we can go and get some nice big trout, and nothing down there is going to kill you. So we're looking forward to it.
I'm very envious of you lads sat there with a beer in your hand, sort of going to the Gold Cup. Open a tin for me. I'll be having a cup of cocoa. I'm suffering with man flu at the moment, struggling on with man flu. So
you're brave, so brave.
Yeah. So anyway, look forward to next time. But really, really appreciate it, Merv. That sort of
no worries at all.
Top guy. And I say when you look at your record, pretty impressive record. How many wickets you took, and also got Beefy hit you for 22 off, one over at Brisbane. So apart from that,
Well, when you're saying my records are pretty impressive, he's sitting there just giggling. Like he's played twice as many tests, got twice as many wickets, made 10 times more runs than I did.
100 times more runs.
10 times. 100 times. Yeah, no, fair point. Yeah.
You got 250, 2 half centuries.
Consecutive.
Mate, if you really want to sit down and waste a couple of hours, he'll talk you through it ball for ball.
Consecutive test
ball
50s.
By ball with it. Were his 50s against you?
No. He'd finished by then, 93.
Yeah. Really appreciate you being on the show. And you two look after yourselves and don't do anything that I wouldn't do.
Well,
that's going to be tough.
It's going to be really hard. That, yeah.
We're going to have a great summer over here, Bill. Good luck.
Excellent.
Bye now.
Come on, England.
Hey.